So I am doing my 5-star reading predictions. Books I think I'll give 5 stars. Some of these are books that I have owned for a while and that have been on my TBR for a while, and some of them are new releases that have either just come out or are not out yet, but I'm looking forward to, and I think I'll give them 5 stars. The first book that I think I will give 5 stars to is Middle Game by Shauna Maguire. This was recommended to me like it was recommended to everyone else on BookTube by Kayla from Books and Lala. I am already about 50 pages in, but I started reading it while I was also reading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which was not a good idea because I think I need to read this by itself because it's quite complicated. Middle Game, what are you about? I think it's about some twins who, I hate their names, sorry but I do. Roger and Dodger, just because they rhyme. It's about a whole bunch of twins that have magical powers, and in the 50 pages that I got into, it's kind of like they're creating humans, and it's all based off of this one scientist woman's idea. I'm feeling hopeful for this. Cindy from Read with Cindy, I think, rated it 3 stars though, so. Then I have Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is a gothic novel, as in the classic gothic genre of like big house in the country, spooky goings on, which I really like, but I don't know if it's modern or what time period it's set in, but it's set in a big house in Mexico and spooky things happen, and sign me up for that. That's out now, but I haven't got it because I'm waiting until the end of August to order a whole bunch of books, because some of the books that I'm looking forward to don't come out till the end of August and I don't want to have to pay shipping. Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin is on my list next. So Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin is about this new invention called a Kentucky, which is, I've always thought of it as a bit like a Furby, but it's got someone dwelling within it, and they're basically like on Skype with you, like watching you live your life, and they wheel about your house and watch you, but you don't know who they are and they can't talk to you. I've actually finished that book today and it was not a 5-star. So maybe none of these will be 5 stars because obviously I have no idea what I like. Then I have The Burning Kingdoms by Sally Green, which is the 3rd book in the Smoke Thieves series. I don't know what it's called, but the first book is The Smoke Thieves and the second book is The Demon World, and The Burning Kingdoms is the last one. So this book series is about 5 teenagers, I think. A princess, a soldier, a hunter, a traitor and a thief. They all become involved with demon smoke, which is a drug in their land, but it has other effects. The Burning Kingdoms is the continuation of this series, and it's also the final book, and I am excited. Next I have another book by an author that I have read something from before and really loved, which is The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. So I read The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle when it came out, but it was a good time. And his next book is coming out, I think in October. I think it's the start of October, and it's about a demon on a boat, I think. And I think there's like corpses roaming the boat. Sign me up. Sounds like a good time to me. Another one by an author that I've already read something from and really liked, and also started this and also really liked, is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I read Circe by Madeline Miller. I also have it signed. So The Song of Achilles, I think most people know what The Song of Achilles is about. It's about Achilles and Patroclus having a wonderful time in ancient Greece. I got about halfway through this on a ebook that I borrowed from the library, and then my friend has lent me this copy and I still haven't read it. Sorry. I have The Book of the Night Women by Marlon James, and this is about a group of women in Jamaica in 1785, I think. Yeah, and they're on a sugar plantation, and all of the slave women meet up at night to plot a revolt. And Lilith, who I believe is the girl on the cover, comes into her powers and gives them hope. But I don't know if these are magical powers or other life powers, So I'm looking forward to reading it. Then I have The Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb. This is the first book in the Tawny Man trilogy. I have read the Farseer trilogy, I read the Farseer trilogy, and I've read the Live Ship series trilogy, and now I'm moving on to this one. I don't give everything, that's probably a lie, I think I do give everything by Robin Hobb 5 stars. So if the statement that I give everything by Robin Hobb 5 stars is true, and I've read 6 of her books, then maybe 7 will also be true. I'm excited to read it. Then I have The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. I read the Half a War, Half a King, that series. I read the first book in that series and I really liked it, and then I got confused because it started following someone else than the main character in the next book, so I didn't read it. I think this is about revenge or something like that, don't really know, but I think it'll be a good time. I don't know anything about these books, but I'm like, yeah, it'll definitely be 5 stars. I have no idea what it's about. I might really hate what it actually turns out to be about. Then I have The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. This is about 2 sisters who take different paths in life. They're both black, but they're light-skinned, and one sister passes as a white woman and no one in her family knows, like her husband and children, none of them know. And then the other sister embraces being black, and it's about their lives. And that sounds really great, so I want to read it. I have How We Disappeared by Jing Jing Lee. So this one, I think it was nominated for the Man Booker Prize, or it was nominated for a prize, and it is about I think it's about a son who goes to like his mother's deathbed, or maybe his grandmother's deathbed, and learns all about her life. Oh yeah, it says, for fans of Min Jin Lee's Pachinko, which I really liked. As Japanese troops sweep down Malaysia and into Singapore, a village is ransacked. Only 3 survivors remain. One of them is a tiny child. Oh yeah, I remember this. In a neighbouring village, 17-year-old Wang Di is bundled into the back of a troop carrier and shipped off to a Japanese military camp. I remember this. That is another potential 5 stars for me. Then I have Small Island by Andrea Levy. So I'm reading this at the moment. I say I'm reading this in the moment. I'm actually buddy reading it with my friend, and we're on like a hiatus at the moment, so who knows when I'll finish it. Small Island is set, it says here on the spine, 1930, 1940, 1948 and 1950. So it's set throughout the years, and it follows mainly 2 women, Queenie and Hortense. And Queenie lives in London and she is white, and it's about her early life on a farm and her husband and what she does during the war. And then it's also about Hortense, who comes to England from Jamaica through marriage, and with her husband, oh no, I dropped it, with her husband Gilbert on, well, I don't think she comes on Windrush, but Gilbert does. So it's really interesting. I'm really enjoying it. Next, I have The Confessions of Franny Langton by Sarah Collins. Again, this is one I don't know much about. I think it is about a nanny. Oh, here we are. Crowds gather in their thousands at the gate of the Old Bailey as Franny Langton, maid to Mr. and Mrs. Benham, goes on trial for their murder. Ooh! Franny's tale begins with a young girl learning to read on a plantation in Jamaica and ends in a grand house in London, where the new mistress is caught in a different kind of trap. It's a tale of passion and hatred and betrayal and revenge. But through Franny's fevered confessions burns this question: could she have murdered the only person she ever loved? I'm even more excited to read it now. I didn't know what it was about. I wasn't just like, oh, scissors, looks great. I didn't know what it was about, I just forgot. Bitter Orange by Claire Fuller. So I read, where are you? Our Endless Numbered Days by Claire Fuller. I'm not going to get it down because it's all the way up there and I don't want to stand up. This is Bitter Orange, which I believe is about a woman that like lives in an attic and spies on people, which is like a whole mood. I don't really know anything else about it. I think it's like a country house and all of that. Sounds great. Maybe 5 stars. Who knows? I'll tell you when I've eventually read all of these. Next, I have Transcendent Kingdom by Yar Jessie, which is, again, the thing I don't know anything about. So I read Homegoing by Yar Jessie a while ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and had a wonderful time. I really enjoyed seeing how the 2 women's paths, what am I typing? How the 2 women's paths, I can't talk and type at the same time. Let me, Transcendent novel about a Ghanaian family in Alabama. Gifty is a 5th year candidate in neuroscience at Stanford School of Medicine. Studying reward-seeking behaviour in mice and the neural circuits of depression and addiction. Her brother Nana was a gifted high school athlete who died of a heroin overdose after a knee injury left him hooked on oxycodone. Transcendent Kingdom is a deeply moving portrait of a family of Ghanaian immigrants ravaged by depression and addiction and grief, a novel about faith, science, religion and love. Basically, I didn't know what it was about, it turns out, but I really enjoyed Homegoing, so I'm going to keep reading from the author. And that is how I pick 5 stars. Did I like the author's last book? Yes. I'm going to read the next one and have very high expectations. In fact, loads of these are from authors I've read before, which is a good time. Then I have My Name is Leon by Kit DeWall. So I read and spoke about Becoming Dinah a while ago, and I've had My Name is Leon on my radar for a while, which I think is about 2 brothers who one's adopted and one's not, because Jake is white and Leon is not. So it's about race in adoption. Next, I have The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. Again, I have the Wayfarer series up there, but I'm not going to pick it up because I don't want to stand up. I gave, I think, the rest of the Wayfarer series between 4 and 5 stars. I really like Becky Chambers' writing. I really like books that are set in space that aren't necessarily like spooky. I feel like her books are quite cozy, but they always have an edge of spookiness because they're set in space and if you like open the door you'll die. What I like about Becky Chambers' books is that the aliens aren't all like humanoid aliens. There's some that are like octopuses that live on trays on wheels. And then last of all, I have Miss Benson's Beetle by Rachel Joyce. I read Snow Garden, I read Harold Fry, Queenie, Music Shop, and I like them. They sort of are like, in my mind, magical realism without the magic. So it's like stuff happens that wouldn't necessarily normally happen and it all comes from like the good of the human spirit. And I like that. I think it's cute. I think that this book is about a woman hunting for a beetle because she's bored with her life and she goes on an adventure. I think it's also about female friendship because she takes an unlikely female companion with her, and I think that's fun. And those are all of the books that I may potentially rate 5 stars, but also going from the one that I've already read, probably have got it all horribly wrong. Let me know if you have read any of these books and if you rated them 5 stars. Some of these I don't know why I haven't read. I'm looking at the pile now and I'm like, oh, I'd love to read that. Oh, I want to read that. I've not read them and I've owned them for ages.